Hello, America. Direct from Philadelphia, the birthplace of radios, it's the Here Again Radio Project. We've searched through our radio archives to bring you the very best in old-time radio entertainment. We take the old, polish it up, and make it shiny and new again for you and your whole family. Tonight, as a special treat, we present something new for us here in the Here Again Radio Project's labs. Instead of gathering with our friends and fans of old-time radio goodness to share our common love for these stories from the early halcyon days from the golden age of radio, tonight we have pre-recorded and present to you a creepy tale from the long-running anthology series, Quiet Please. Tonight's story, The Thing on the Fourble Board.
Quiet, please.
The Here Again Radio Project presents Quiet Please, which was written and originally directed by Willis Cooper and featured Ernest Chappell. Quiet Please for tonight is called The Thing on the Fourble Board.
Me, I'm a roughneck. Well, I was a roughneck. 20 years ago. A little too old, too slow now. Besides, I got a dollar now. I don't have to be a roughneck, you see. Married, got a nice home. I have to meet my wife. Hey, Mike! Her name's Maxine, but she likes to be called Mike. Mike! I guess she's busy out in the kitchen someplace. Besides, she don't hear very well. Shame, too. She's so pretty and everything. Well, you'll meet her. Sit down. I was saying I was a roughneck. Well, no, that doesn't exactly mean what you think it means. A roughneck is an oil field worker, specifically a guy on a drilling crew. Call them roughnecks like you call a section hand on the railroad a gandy dancer or a garage hand a grease monkey. Same time you work around a drilling crew for a while, you're going to be a roughneck in every sense of the word, boy. The derrick floor or a Fourble Board's no place for a guy with a bow tie, because when you have to fool around with drilling holes that go farther down in the grove than it is from the top of Pikes Peak down to sea level, yeah, they sure do. Time I was a roughneck, we got this one well down to 7,313 feet. That was a record. But last May, pure oil brought me out into the Niobrara Valley in Wyoming at 14,309 feet. That, friend, is almost 3 miles. Quite a hole, that, huh? Sure, I don't think there's an old man in the world that don't wonder at one time or another what's down there besides rock and oil and gas. Oil that's made out of trees that died 20 million years ago. Oil that's made out of dinosaur bones. Oil that's made out of the flesh and blood of men, maybe, that beat each other to death with a stone axe, ate saber-toothed tiger for lunch. Yeah, you get to wondering. You look at the cores that come up from way down there, and sometimes there's little shells, trilobites mostly, that was alive when Manhattan Island, where New York is, was under half a mile of ice. We found something once, me and Billy Grunwald, and something found us. I'll tell you about it. Clear down to around 5,400 feet, we'd set casing that began to get water, so we had to stop drilling and cement off. Well, you see, when water begins to seep in the hole, you pull your drill pipe. Then you let down the cement and shoe inside the casing, and you plug up the bottom of the hole, casing and all, with quick hardening waterproof cement. Then, when it's hard, you drill through the cement and go down, and the cement outside the casing at the bottom keeps the water out. Well, we had the drill pipe out pulled and racked. The cement was setting, see? So we were shut down, waiting for it to harden. We've been coring just before, well, you see, the core drill is hollow. And as the bit digs down, it stuffs the drillings up inside it. So when you pull it out, you got a sample of the kind of stuff you're going through. And a geologist can tell a lot from that. So there's nobody around the rig except me that night. The rest of the crew's gone into town. I was toasting some pork chops over the porch for myself when I heard a car pulling up. Look out, it's Billy Greenwald, the geologist, and I give him a hello. Hey, Billy, come and have a pork chop.
All right, Porky. Where's everybody?
They all went to town. I'm the whole crew.
I had 3 blowouts between here and Oxnard.
Yeah, I wondered where you was. Ted said you'd be in here about 3.
Yeah, I would have been except for my tough luck. Oh, I'm dead.
Hungry?
Starved.
Well, I got 7 pork chops and bread and some coffee, kinda.
Swell. Hey, I got a bottle in the car.
We gonna have a banquet.
Hey, where's that core? That's what I came here to look at.
Back there on the bench. Look at it after supper.
Hey,
What?
didn't you say we were all alone here?
Uh-huh.
I thought I heard somebody talking.
I don't see nobody. Keep an eye on that pork chop. You won't have any supper.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Here, let me put the coffee on. Like so.
When'd you finish cementing?
This morning, last tower only made about 10 feet of hole, so Ted shut down before we get flooded out of house and home.
It's funny about the water.
How?
Oughtn't to be any at that level, according to my figuring.
Well, there is.
Is it salt?
Sure, right at the bottom of the ocean.
That's funny. Well, maybe I'd be able to tell something from the core. Yeah, I hope so. The last core I've looked at, I swore we would have been getting into the shale.
Ain't seen none yet from the cuttings.
It's funny.
Here, your pork chop's done. Take some bread.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, man.
Good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, put on another. I had 2 already before you come.
Yeah, much obliged, yeah. You know, you never can tell what's down there. You get it all mapped out and plotted out, all the strata, and all you know is what comes out of the hole.
Yep, I'd like to go down there sometimes if I was little enough.
Never get you down a hole.
Well, you'd fit. You're skinny.
I'll stay up here and look at the cores, bud. Where's that one?
Behind you, over there.
Oh, well, let's have a look at it.
Why don't you wait till you finish your supper?
Just gonna look at it. Yeah, put on another pork chop for me.
Okay.
Wow, I wish those screech owls would keep.
What's the matter?
Hey, wait a minute, Porky.
Well, what?
Listen.
What's eating you?
Yeah, I'd have sworn there's somebody up there on that Fourble Board.
Oh, you're crazy. There's nobody up there.
Standing against those stands of the drill pipe.
Oh, they're just stacked crooked. One of them slipped. Come on back and eat your pork chop.
Yeah, I guess so, only
Oh, what you so jittery about, Billy? Come on, eat your sandwich. Here.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Porky. I don't know. I'm just naturally that way, I guess. I'm always scared of the dark. Doggone it. I hate to be a baby, but I can't help it.
Scared of the dark? Honest?
That's stupid, ain't it?
Oh, I don't know. Everybody's scared of something. Me? Spiders scare the tar out of me. Black widows. I know how you feel, Billy.
There's another light over there.
Yeah, here.
Wow. That's better. Hey, listen, Porky, go to the car and look in the left-hand door pocket and bring that bottle, will you? That's what I need.
Okay. So I picked up a flashlight. I turned around and went outside. I found the car and then I got the bottle. And the floor of the derrick was all lit up when I saw a beam of light suddenly flash up toward the Fourble Board. I laughed. Billy Grunwald and his ideas. Sure, I looked up. There wasn't a darn thing up there, except the drill pipe racked against the fingerboard. Oh, this Fourble Board. Well, you seen oil derricks, some pictures of them? You know that little platform that runs from the outside of the derrick about halfway up? Well, that's the Fourble Board. You see, drill pipe comes in lengths, and you handle them with several lengths screwed together so as to save time getting them in and out of the hole. 2 length is a double, 3 is a treble, 4 is a fourble. When you pull the pipe, you hoist it inside the derrick with a traveling block, which moves up and down from the crown block at the top of the derrick. Then when a fourble of pipe is pulled out, it's held in the rotary table. You break the joint with tongs, like a great big Stilson wrench, you see? Well, there wasn't anybody up on the Fourble Board, except a screech owl. They flew away. So Billy turned his light off, and I come on inside, and just as I come up the steps, he let out a yell.
Oh!
What's the matter? What's the matter, Billy?
Hey, come here! Look here!
Well, what's it?
Look, Porky!
Ah, where'd you find that?
Now, listen, Porky, I give you my word, that was embedded in the core.
Oh, why, it couldn't be.
I tell you, it was! Look where I dug it out! You know what? That rock there comes from a mile underground, and it's been a mile underground for 1,000,000 years. Man, look at this!
And I did look, and what he was holding was a gold ring, and it was all carved and filigreed just like jewelry, and there wasn't any kidding about it. It was real. Now, wait a minute. Hang on, I ain't done. I poked at the core rock that looked like a kind of petrified salami or something. And then it was my turn to pretty near jump out of my pants, because right alongside the place where Billy dug out the ring, there was a mud-covered but very unmistakable finger. I picked it up, and it was cold, and it was heavy, and it was solid rock. At least it felt like solid rock. And I looked at Billy, and Billy looked at me. He started to rub the mud off of this here stone finger. And as he rubbed it, it began to disappear. No, he could still feel it, he said, but when the mud was gone, neither one of us could see it. And he dropped it to the derrick floor. It went clunk, and we couldn't find it anyplace. So you know what we done? Well, we took that bottle, and we took and finished it, Billy and me. We finished it in 1 slug apiece, and it was a full pint of bathtub gin that tasted just like so much well water to me. And then we sat down on the derrick floor, and we looked at each other. We didn't say a word. My eyes got heavier and heavier. The last thing I remember was I heard some kind of noise that seemed to be coming out from, well, the Fourble Board, 80 feet above us. I shut my eyes a minute. I guess I went to sleep. And I had awful dreams. Black widow spiders crawling all over me with gold rings on their legs. Things I could hear but couldn't see up on the Fourble Board. Billy Grunwald climbing up the ladder outside the derrick in the moonlight, faces looking at me. I couldn't figure out whose they were. Then I was waked up by a horrible scream, a crash alongside me that shook the whole derrick. I opened my eyes to see Billy Grunwald lying on the floor 2 feet away with a broken neck. With a broken neck in his left hand, well, he put the gold ring on the little finger of his left hand, and the way his arms were spread out, his left little finger and the ring was gone. Well, friend, I got out of there. I run down to where Billy had left his car, and I got in. I stepped on the starter, and I couldn't get it to go. And I remembered after I pretty near run down the battery that Billy had taken a key. I wasn't going up there and going through a dead man's clothes to get it, so I sat there in the car, shivered all by myself till daylight. And then Ted and his crew came afterwards. The state cop and everybody in the world was asking me questions.
You and Billy have a fight, Porky?
I told you we didn't, Ted.
But you've been drinking.
We only had that little pint, Ted.
What was he doing up on the Fourble Board?
You threatened him? And did you just run up there to get away from you?
Listen, cop, don't be a chump. Billy Grunwald and I were good friends.
Then why'd you push him off the Fourble Board?
I did not tell you. I wasn't up there.
Well, what'd he go up there for?
I don't know. I was asleep.
How do you know he was up there?
I didn't say he was. You said so. Besides, how would he break his neck if he didn't fall from way up there?
Well, look, officer, I think it was just another accident. I mean, we haven't got anything on Porky, and personally, I don't believe he did it.
Well, it's mighty suspicious.
So it is. But we got work to do. Now, how about it? That cement's hard down there, and I want to start drilling again, and I'm short-handed. Will you let Porky stay up here till I run my pipe again? And, well, then you can take him and ask him questions till you're blue in the face.
Well, okay.
Let's get rolling. You got that steel up, Happy?
I'm all set.
All right. Porky, you go up on that Fourble Board.
What? Not me, Ted.
Oh, don't be such a boob. There's nobody up there to shove you overboard. Hey, you can put a safety line around you if you want to. And besides, you're getting paid to do what you're told. I've lost too much time already. Come on, get going.
So, okay, I'll go up on the Fourble Board. And you can bet I took a good gander around before I did anything else. No, I couldn't see a thing. So I signaled to the driller to let down the traveling block, and he did. Came sailing down from up above. I was just reaching for it to pick up the first four-bowl of drill pipe, gave a big jerk, and the cable broke and dropped and nearly pulled me off the Fourble Board. And it landed right on top of Ted. And if you have any idea what a guy looks like after 2 tons of metal land on him from 80 feet up, well, you keep your ideas to yourself. Well, that was enough. 2 accidents in a row. The whole crew quit. They wasn't going to wait for a third. And it was Ted's money that was paying off. There wasn't any more. And as far as I know, the band at Derek is still there. And that was 20 years ago. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. That traveling block was right in front of my face when it broke loose. It was hanging by a steel cable, 3/4-inch steel cable. And I saw that cable break right before my eyes. Looked just like a piece of string when you snap it between your fingers. I can almost see the fingers. And you know what? There was something up there on the Fourble Board with me. And so a couple days later, I come back. I don't know if there's anything in the world as desolate, as dismal, as dead looking as an abandoned oil well rig. There it stands, like a skeleton off on the deserted side road in the bare yellow hills surrounding it. And it's the deadest thing you ever saw. I sat in my car for a long time looking at it. Everything was just the way we left it. I looked in at the floor. The smashed traveling block was there alongside the rotary table. There was a little mutter of steam from the boiler. That was all. Then I heard a tinkle of something as it hit the ground alongside me. I looked around. Wasn't a soul in sight. But at my feet was the gold ring that Billy Grunwald and I had found in the core of that rock that came up from a mile underground from 1,000,000 years ago in time. I heard a little sound, the sound of a kid crying. There wasn't any kid up there, but I heard it again. And it came from above my head. And I took out my revolver. I loaded it carefully. I started up the ladder to the Fourble Board. Well, there wasn't nothing up there, nothing I could see. There was a voice, the voice of a little kid, and there was movement behind the rack of drill pipes, and I saw the pipe move, and I yelled, "Come out of there, whoever you are. Come out or I'll start shooting." And then the stand of pipe shivered, and I thought, what can it be that can handle a heavy pipe like that, like jack straws? Then there was a crash. The whole stand of pipe fell over, and I just got out of the way in time, and I was alone on the Fourble Board with the thing. I couldn't see it. I felt the platform tremble underneath my weight, under my feet again as something moved toward me. I fired 2 or 3 shots, and nothing happened. I started backwards. I knew it was following me because I could hear it meowing like a cat. My feet tripped over something. I saw it was a big can of red lead that someone had left up there. Without thinking, I picked it up and I threw it at the sound, and it splashed. And there it was. And I wish the face of a little girl, frightened, crying with hunger and terror, hands like a human being, and a finger missing from the left hand, and a body. Well, I'll tell you about that. I told you how I'm scared of spiders, but I knew where it come from. It come from the bowels of the earth, come riding up on the drill pipe as we yanked it out of the well, come to an alien world, and it was lost. It stood there dripping with red paint, blood red from head to foot like some horrible dream. And it put its hand on my arm. Its hand was stone, like moving stone. And it looked into my eyes and meowed like a lost kitten. "20 years ago, I discovered many things about it. What it used for food, that it was deaf, that it was invisible, and couldn't see people when it was invisible. That if you sprayed it with mud or paint or grease paint, makeup, then it could see people. And believe me, I didn't want to see its body. I can see that in my nightmares, but its face, I can't help wanting to see that pathetic little girl face. I'm afraid maybe I've fallen, but it's very beautiful. And when it's well made up, but making it up, rubbing grease paint on a stone face, it looks at you and smiles and makes sounds like a lost kitten, yet I can disguise the body in long dresses. She can't hear very well. When she's hungry, I have to stay out of her way. I found out what she likes to eat, remember? No, sit still. Sit still, do. Sit still or I'll have to shoot you. I want you to meet my wife. Or rather, my wife wants to meet you, Mr. Smith. Mike? Mike? There she is. Come on in, dear. Mr. Smith, meet Mike. Mike, dinner is served.
The title of tonight's Quiet Please story is The Thing on the Fourble Board. It was written and directed by Willis Cooper and featured Ernest Chappell and originally broadcast on the Mutual Network September 18, 1948. For tonight's recording, in the cast you heard Jared Michael Delaney, Jill Lawrence, David Stanger, and Darin J. Dunston. This is a Here Again Radio Project production.